today I am making a new digital art video. I know that in my last video I said that I would make one with this pumpkin thing that I did in that video, but actually I found out that that craft was actually a really time consuming one, and I want to do like a proper photo shoot for it when it's finished, and I want to just put a lot of effort into it because I already bought a lot of new art supplies for it, so I really want to put effort into that video. So it will not actually be this week's video, and I don't know if it will be next week's or after that, but we'll see. It's turning into another one of those doll makeover videos, because I also kept saying that I'm going to post that, but then it took a lot longer than I was initially expecting. And it's not because I'm trying to deceive anyone, it's just that I'm sort of underestimating how long these projects take. So yeah, I hope that you can be patient with me and just wait for when I upload that video. But I do make a fairly detailed illustration in this video, so I hope that makes up for it. This video does actually correlate with last week's video in that video I talked about like how I'm sort of bad at drawing trees, and here you can see that before I made this illustration I did actually study drawing trees. These are just the fundamentals, but I think that it helped a little bit with my understanding. I was following this tutorial by the Drawing Codex. It's very fundamental. It doesn't really go into detail, but I think that it helps as like a beginning thing. So I don't know if I learned that much, to be honest, but I did sort of it helps to understand the structure a little bit more, I think. So I think that it was helpful overall, and next I need to learn some human anatomy because I'm not very good at that. One thing about drawing trees that I notice is that I always draw very basic trees, like what you would imagine if you imagined a tree, pretty much. So I would like to expand my tree knowledge and start drawing a little bit more like different trees. I was actually inspired a specific tree called Haba. I'm not sure what it's called in English. I will put something on the screen for that, but I wanted to draw that, but later I realized that it has the tree has a very different textured bark. I don't know, is that what it's called? Than like what I drew here. So I'm once again failing and using reference, which is bad. I need to learn how to use reference more. I pretty much learned to draw just by observing the things around me, so I never really was bothered with like studying or reference or anything. But I think now when I'm at this point in my art, if I want to improve in any sense, I do need to actually start studying. So yeah, I am sort of planning that I would like to do a series on this channel where I sort of start from the very beginning, like from concept art and planning and everything, and then I would create a story in a series. So every part is one part of making the story, if that makes sense. I think you know what I'm talking about. The first part is kind of planning, and the second part is concept art, and the third part is I don't know, something like that. That would maybe be helpful if I make it into a video thing, because I've noticed that these videos really help me to do things actually. It really makes me do stuff that I need to make a video every week, because otherwise I'm just kind of a vegetable when it comes to art. I don't really do it if I don't have a specific reason, and I think that YouTube is a great reason to do it. So I should probably start talking about the actual illustration now. I made this sketch or like layout thing, or like just sketched my idea beforehand, but this is honestly not very detailed and I didn't record it, so sorry about that. But you will get to see all of the rendering and line art and everything like that, so I hope it's okay. In this beginning stages, you will see that I was going to add Spook and Dove in this kind of balcony here, but at the end I sort of felt like the way that I drew the branches didn't really work out with the proportions of the canvas, so I made it smaller in the end. I made it like kind of a square shape, so yeah, they got cut off unfortunately, but I am making a big crafts involving them, so it will be fine. They're not completely forgotten. The concept of this illustration was that Barbara is in her autumn clothes and she's running through the forest. And that's pretty surface level, but I thought that it would be cute, so I drew that. I especially wanted to try and add a lot of detail to the clothes, because usually I don't really add any detail to the clothes, but I would like to start doing that, like different textures and patterns and stuff, so I think that was good practice for that. Also, you can see that she is barefooted, which is not good. You shouldn't be barefooted outside when it's getting cold, but well, she is a troll, so maybe trolls don't get cold that easily. Oh, I just realized that I actually forgot to draw her ears in this drawing. Oh well, maybe they're hidden under the hair or something. Yeah, that's a good excuse. When I started coloring, I first started with the face because I was honestly very nervous and I didn't know how I would even color this drawing. So when I am like that, I start with something that I think I will have a pretty good understanding of, like how to color it, and then I just go from there, like do it with sections. And in this case, I wanted the face to be the focal point, so I felt like if I start sort of coloring from the hair and then build up from there, it will be easier to color the entire piece. I seem to really like forest scenes with this sort of light coming from in between the leaves. I don't know, I think that it looks really fun. It's fun to draw, so especially the warmth around the edges of the light, I think that makes it just so satisfying to look at. So I did that. Also, I don't know if this is like obvious to everyone, but I made the skin tone darker because that's how I like the light is. There's not much light and the light is only where the leaves, so yeah. I thought that for the color scheme it would look nice if the further back trees were yellow and then everything in the front would be kind of orange or red, so I did that. I really struggled with the scene at first and the composition, I guess. I think that it's very simple, like it's very much like there's the background and then there's like the middle ground and the foreground. Like I don't think it's very interesting. It's kind of boring, like the composition and the like scene. I could have made it more interesting, I guess, but it's fine. I think that I would just need to like study the forest more, and like maybe I could make a video where I just go for a walk in the forest and sketch some trees. It would be a very cozy video, but I would like to study the more interesting aspects of a forest, because I love forest. I love going on walks in the forest, and it's so interesting. There's so many different elements, but when I start drawing, it's just I don't really remember those. So that's just about building up my visual library. I really need to do that. So yeah. Also, I'm sorry if my voiceover is a little bit messy in this video. I'm feeling a little bit scatterbrained right now, so sorry about that. I also added the light peeking through the tree leaves on the ground, but I think that I could have added some more texture to it to show that there's like grass, and maybe I could have made like a path, and maybe I could have made like a path way or something, and added some boulders and rocks and stuff like that, and added like there's just patches of grass and maybe even moss. Oh, I definitely should have added moss on the trees. I'm sorry if this video seems like I'm just nitpicking this entire drawing, but that's kind of the point, because I wanted to make this so that I could like study and see where I need help with drawing forest. So I'm sorry if this is horrible to listen to, but I'm learning, okay? Let me learn. I really like how the scarf looks together with the cardigan. I think that it's really cute, and I think that it got the texture to look very soft and fuzzy, and I really like that it looks very warm, even though you should still wear shoes for autumn, and with socks. So yeah. I also really like the little ribbon on her tail. I think that's a very cute detail that you don't really notice immediately, but if you look for it, I think it's very cute and it fits her personality. I think that she would tie a ribbon like that in her tail. I tried to add some variety with the trees by adding a few pine trees in the background, and I also added a log that is kind of on top of the river, like it has fallen down, and then there's like some leaves on the ground and some tiny pine trees as well, some baby pine trees, and a few mushrooms as well here and there. So I think that those add to the forest. Like those are kind of the interesting elements that I want to add in my drawings, but it's very simplistic still, so I'll still have to look into that more and study it. I do like how the dress looks, like because I made the outline yellow. I don't know actually, I didn't think much about that choice, but I think that it makes it look really cute, like it's kind of illuminated in a way. I don't know. And in the end, I tried to add some more texture to the ground by adding these little grass blades. So this illustration is not all bad. I don't hate it. I think that it's cute. It's just a fun illustration, and it really helped me to think more better about how I draw forests and stuff. Yeah, I really want to become a better artist when it comes to drawing forests, because I really love forests. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Now I will show you the final illustration.